Hi there, this is Ramakrishna here from Robodynamics. Welcome to Java Full Stack Development Series. This is our third video. In this particular video, we are going to focus on the foundations of Java programming, that is data types, variables, literals, operators and expressions. In the previous video, we discussed about what is Java, how Java is platform independent, and how to set up JDK, how to install JDK, and we also have installed Eclipse IDE and created a basic application. Now, this particular video is very important as we are moving to hands-on coding. You can't learn Java full stack by just watching this video. You can only learn Java full stack by coding. The all my audience, please remember, there is no fun in watching this video. Open your laptop. You can actually pause this video until you open the laptop. Yeah, can you do that? I can wait for you. Very good. Let it take a minute or two. No problem. Open your laptop. Open Chrome browser. Start this particular YouTube video there. Okay. The next thing what you do is uh, click on Eclipse and start Eclipse 2. Yes, it takes 1 or 2 minutes to start Eclipse. That is fine because only way you can learn Java is by coding, hands-on coding. It will really help you out. Okay. Now, once you start your Eclipse, I'm reassuring again. Please pause this video and wait for the Eclipse to open. Now, what you have to do is you have to switch workspace. That's the first thing what you have to do. So I have created this workspace called Java full stack workspace. Now if you do not have, if your workspace is not Java full stack workspace, you can actually, what you can do it is you can come over here and create the workspace. Now how to create Java full stack workspace? I already have C colon Java full stack workspace, but I'll tell you one. So basically what I'm asking you to do it is uh, come to Eclipse, file, switch workspace and others, and type here C colon Java full stack workspace. After that you press the launch button. Once you press the launch button, Eclipse will close down and open it again. You're going to see a welcome screen. Okay, so you can actually, like I'm closing program.java, you can close it. This is how you're going to get. So all my friends, what I'm requesting you to do it is pause this video until you are at this particular stage, is because today onwards we were moving to hands-on coding. So we will walk the talk. That means we will code and we will learn. That's the best way to do it. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Now assuming that you guys are over here, let us create a new project. Now new, and you, if you find Java project here, you're lucky. Otherwise you can actually come to others and select Java project. If you do not see it over here, type Java project in the search area and then you will definitely find it. Now click on this and next, and I'm creating the name of the project as data app because we are selecting, we are discussing about data types. Now in the previous project what we have done was we already configured our Eclipse. So if you have watched my previous video uh, of how to set up Java and JDK, then you are all set. Otherwise my sincere request is go back to my previous video. It is in the same playlist. Okay, it's here, like if I say uh, youtube.com, and then if I go to your channel, okay, this is my channel and this is the playlist which I have. I'm parallelly working on React and Java full stack. So this is the Java full stack thing. Okay. Right. Yeah. The first one is all about the concept of like React. The first one talks about introduction to Java full stack development. It talks about the 2026 roadmap: core Java, Spring Boot, MySQL, React, Cloud, AI, everything, like the kind of tools and technologies which are actually needed to build a Java full stack enterprise application. The second video is talks about how to, this is for beginners who, how to install JDK, how to Eclipse, and how to run a basic Hello World program. It is just a half an hour video. Please go through that, and then only you will come over here. In this in the previous video, already I have discussed about how to configure your JRE, this part. So the second video explains that, how to configure JRE and all kind of thing. Now I don't want to go to that particular place, but I'm asking you to configure this JRE, and then and right now it says that the current workspace uses 21 JRE. In case if you see this kind of thing, you need to click on that configure and select that to uh, 21, and that goes away. Next, and finish. After that, what you have to do it is right click on the data app and select new, and then select class, and then create something like program.java. Okay, select public static void main, and then finish. So this is where you come in to test whether your Java is working or not. System.out.println, and then data types. I'm just typing data types today. Okay, so right click, run as Java application. If you are getting this output like data types today, you are all set to start today's session. If you are not getting this and you are getting some error related to Eclipse and all, please give a comment in my YouTube video. I can actually help you out. I have helped several students, thousands of students in Java, so it should be easy for me to help you out. But get this error fixed. Okay, now let us start the video number 3. Okay, so in this particular video we are going to learn about data types, variables, literals, operators, and expressions. Now what is the roadmap for this video? We are going to start with variables. A variable is a name given to a memory location. We are going to talk about different kind of data types called int, char, float, double, etc. The second thing is what are the best practices. Now students in school write Java code. College students and engineering students write Java code, but there are experienced Java professionals, write code as software engineers. So there is a difference between beginner level coding to writing code for enterprise applications like production ready code and all. So we're going to discuss about what is acceptable in production. That is the best practices which we are going to discuss. We are also going to discuss about literals, operators, etc. And I'm going to code the whole thing and take you out. Okay, fine, good. So let us start with it. Now every program works with the data. Like for example, you want to build a student management system. Then the student marks are needed. Let's say you are talking about employee related systems like payroll or employee management system or timesheet and all. You need employee ID, what salary they get and all. Or if you are trying to build an e-commerce application like Amazon and all, then you need the product pricing and all. Okay, customer's age is needed, especially when you're trying to book a movie ticket. And if you're trying to build a banking application, the login status is very important, because only the authorized logged in user can only access the application. Similarly, if you're trying to Diwali is coming and then you want to give discounts and all, so what percentage you're going to calculate discount and all kind of things. So the good thing is each thing is represented in different ways. Now I wanted to open an Excel sheet and then do it. Let's say that I've secured 89 marks in math. Okay, let's talk about the radius of a circle, which is like, let's say 5, or or you can say the number of countries who play cricket. The number of countries who play cricket are like 15. Assume that these are all like coming under one particular category. I will call them as whole numbers. So just wanted to say that int is the data type. Int is the data type for these kind of things. Similarly, let's talk about you know the the pi value, or or let's say the temperature. We'll say 9, okay, 22.5 degrees centigrade, or any so okay, so this becomes like float, right? Or let's say salary of a person. Salary, let's say this guy's salary is 35,000 rupees 50 paisa. Now this kind of thing is represented in double. Now is logged in, the status is either true or false, right? Now this data type is like boolean, etc. Now different data, what I'm trying to say that is the max, let's say 89. Assume that you can get 89.5. Now if your marks are 89.5, then this doesn't become in data type. This actually becomes uh, float kind of a data type kind of thing. So you need to be very sure that whole numbers are represented as integers, decimal values are represented as float, a bigger decimal values are represented in double, and the logical values are represented using boolean. So int is one type of data type, float is another kind of data type, and double is one kind of data type, and boolean is another type of data type. Okay, so different data are represented with different types. So whenever you are declaring a variable, correct, you need to define the data types also. So okay, so what are we trying to do right now? As this is a hands-on program, as of now you guys should also have an Eclipse open with program static void main and start working. If not, pause the video, come to this particular point sorry, and then we can get it on the first. So what I will do is I'll always write a comment and I'll say what I'm doing. So declaring a variable, so you exactly are sure about what I'm doing. Okay, so if I say something like int, let's say math marks is equal to 94. Okay, the joke is I haven't got marks till 94 in my life. That's the reason I'm writing. No, I can at least write it now. So if you see over here, int. So how the whole thing works is, okay. Now the yes, let me use a sniping tool. I really like it because it's easy to draw quick pictures over here. Now you can see int math marks in. So how does it happen is, let me create a box, and the value in it is 94, and the variable is math. I do I'm sorry, I could have written better. Okay, now let's say the address is something like CXXF. I'm just writing some hexadecimal value as an address for the sake of writing it. So this is how a data is getting stored in memory. Let's say you stay in a house, an apartment or a villa or anything. You have a number, right? Like 175 or 165 or 2 and all. Sim every every house has an address. Similarly, every data in memory has an address. Okay. So this part is the address, this part is the value, and this is exactly the name of the location. Okay. Now similarly, you can actually write int age is equal to 25. Now let us understand what exactly is int. Int is the data type. What exactly is the age? Age is the variable. Variable. Variable is a name given to that particular location. So it has to be meaningful. You can't give variables like ABCD. It doesn't work. Equal to is the assignment operator. There is a difference between so if you want to compare two values, you are not going to use one equal to, you're going to use two equal to, then only it is going to be comparison. And what exactly is the 25? 25 is a literal. So let me put it here. Int is the data type. Got it? Age is the variable. Double equal to is the assignment operator, and 25 is the literal or the const value. Is it clear? That's how every statement in Java, every this is semicolon, right? So every statement or in Java ends with a semicolon. Now most of you have learned Python, assuming, or other programming languages like C, C++ and all. Now understand that C, C++, Java are strongly typed language. That means it is mandatory to define what type it is. So data types are mandatory in C, C++ and Java, whereas Python is a not strongly typed language. So in Python you can just say where age is equal to 25. There is absolutely no need for giving semicolon also. Python is built for different objectives. So whereas Java is for built, the level of object orientedness is pretty high. Now all of you, when you give a comment, happily it gets ignored so by the compiler. So this is for your understanding, and this is just a tutorial video. That is the reason I have done it. Now what I'm trying to do is system dot out dot println, and I'm trying to say marks, and then you can actually see plus, and then math marks. Similarly system dot out dot println age, and then age. Yeah. So can you please finish this? I'll give you 2 minutes. When you right click run as Java application, you should get the output. Okay. Yeah, please. Now this is going to be the grade. So you got math marks is equal to 95, age is equal to 25, etc. So similarly, you know, okay, now what we will do is we will create different types of data types. So let us say that char grades, like I get A grade, B grade and all. Imagine. Okay. Now grades become A. But for some reason, okay, I just wanted to tell you that if you get A plus, then there are two values, right? Then char, it doesn't work. I have to go switch these to string data type. That I'll explain little later. Similarly, boolean is another data type. So is passed, is equal to true. Okay. Similarly, string name is equal to Rama, etc. And you can actually print it out also, like system dot out dot println grades hyphen plus grades system dot out dot println is passed is passed. Similarly, let's take a double value also. Double salary is equal to 3550, and then system dot out dot println salary. Yeah, if you want to define a float variable, float val is equal to 2.34, it gives an error. When you give float to float val is equal to 2.34, it gives an error. So how do you fix that error? By pressing L over here, or sorry, F over here, right? So if I say system dot out dot println, and then you can actually say val is equal to hyphen, and then you type val, and this is how the value is getting displayed. Now if I right click here, run as Java application, you can actually see the all the outputs are coming. Okay, please pause this video, we are not in a hurry. Please pause this video, we are not in a hurry. And this is mandatory. Always participants, please listen here. This is mandatory. We cannot move forward unless we cross this particular milestone. So if you are serious about learning Java and you want to be hands on, then you please pause this video. Okay, and you can actually you can press a double clicking here. You can double click here, you can see the whole program and type it out, and you can double click on the program name again and you can actually see the output. Okay, so this is very important that you should run this particular program and you should get the output. Got it? Now there are a couple of things which we need to discuss about. Like I'm trying to create another thing called class, and then say program 1 public static void main. Now you see over here everyone, let's say you say int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20, etc. Now just wanted to be very sure that this a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20 is a beginner style of coding. Now this is not allowed in projects, especially when you work for software development companies. This is not allowed. So my request is, do not declare you know a variables which doesn't make sense actually. Rather than it's easy to say that int age is equal to 10, double salary is equal to, let's say, 20,000. So this makes sense, whereas A and B doesn't make sense. So don't do that kind of a mistake of declaring, A, B, C, D. Don't do that. Okay. Now, variable names, there are something like, coding guidelines. What after you finish your code, right? Most of the time your tech leads and all, go for reviewing the code. Now let us talk about what kind of what naming convention in Java is allowed for variables. Okay, let's make mistakes. Let's say int 2 marks is equal to 10. Now you will see, if you are especially using Eclipse, right? On you'll see that there is an error saying that, to delete the token, to delete the token, etc. Now this is wrong. Meaning a variable name, a variable, I'm making a spelling mistake, name cannot start with a number. So this is something which you have to understand. So let me, you cannot declare a variable. That is the reason you see you get an error. The second thing is, you can't actually say int student age is equal to 20. That means this is wrong. What do you mean by wrong? No spaces in between a variable name. Not allowed. You see, you got an error. Yes. The next thing is int student age 1 is equal to 45 or 35. Now hyphens are not allowed. Okay, only few special characters are allowed, hyphens are not allowed. Okay, and then you cannot say in class is equal to 2. The reason is, the concepts like class, interface, double, static, final, abstract, these are all our keywords in Java. So all the keywords or the Java thing cannot use as variable name. So these are all the things which are actually not allowed. But let me tell you what are allowed. So you can actually see underscore is allowed, okay, and dollar value is allowed. So you can actually say something like int underscore count is equal to 2, allowed, can start with an underscore. The second one is int dollar val is equal to whatever. So can start with a dollar. Yeah. So this exactly is also allowed. Now all the participants, please make sure that these things are actually followed. So first of all, don't use A, B and C. Instead you declare, variables which are meaningful like age, salary and etc. The second thing which I am trying to say is, these are the kind of naming conventions which are not allowed. A variable doesn't start with a number, there are no spaces, no hyphens, and do not use Java keywords like class, interface, double, static, final, abstract as the variable names. That is actually not allowed. What is allowed is, you can start with an underscore and you can start with a dollar value. Okay, so this is the story as far as the data types is concerned. Now, yeah, can you please watch this slide for a second? Give me, yeah, please go through it. Okay, so as you have gone through it, okay, there are a couple of things which we need to follow. Is if you see here, um, yes, if you see over here, I've written as int math marks is equal to 94. Okay. Now, if you see int math marks is equal to 94, this kind of representation is known as camel casing. See, camel casing. That means math marks. When I pronounce, they're like two words. So a variable name starts with a lowercase. Okay, so m is lowercase over here, and when you give a pause like math marks, the next word is marks. So m is actually capital. So when you are writing Java projects, no, follow camel casing for declaring a variable. Similarly, a method also follows the same notation. A class starts with the capital letter. You see, I have defined the program as a class and P starts with capital letter. So there are certain conventions which you have to follow when you are naming a variable. I repeat, a variable starts with lowercase. A method starts with lowercase. And whenever you are declaring a method or a variable, you have to follow camel casing. Okay, that is kind of very important. And variable names have to be meaningful. A, B, C, D are not allowed, like math marks, science marks, English marks, everything is allowed. Now, when you're declaring a variable, right, you can actually say past, uh, past. Now, this is not a meaningful name. Instead, you should actually declare is past. Now, is past is a meaningful name. So always variable names have to be meaningful. Okay. Now coming to what are the different data types which are actually there in Java. Now, yeah, sometimes my videos take little bit longer because I'm treating one YouTube video as one particular class and I'm emphasizing on certain points. So I'm not rushing to finish the video in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Rather, I'm trying to do justice to that particular session. What is needed, I'm actually going for explaining. So always pause the video, watch and understand. Pause the video and watch. There's no need to hurry. Okay. Now these are all the different data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, etc. For a smaller whole number, use byte. Little bit bigger, like subject, use byte. Total marks, use short. Okay, and if you are most common like age and all, you go for the whole number. And if you are using a very big whole number, then go for long. Smaller decimal, less precision, use float. Bigger decimal values, go for double. Single characters, use char. And when you have true or false scenarios, go for boolean. Now there is another question about how much, what is the size of these data types in Java and all. I just want to be sure, end of the day it depends on the operating system, because Java is a wrapper on top of all the operating systems. But I wanted to also talk about it, like a byte is carrying a single byte which is ranges from minus 128 to 127. Short is 2 bytes, 32,768 to 32,767. Integer carries 4 bytes, long 8 bytes, float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, character is 2 bytes. Okay, and boolean value is not fixed by Java specification, because JVMs are allowed to store it differently. So sometimes boolean value can take the value of integer, especially when you are checking logic and all. So that is varying. That is the reason booleans are not fixed by sorry, the Java specification. Okay, so this is kind of very important. Then, yeah, I think we already discussed on or we already have it. Yeah, and you can actually, okay, what are literals? Literals are the constant values. So you can actually see marks is equal to 95. 95 is the literal whose value is not going to change, like 10.5, hash, Java, true. These are all kind of literals. Now, okay, the next topic which we are going to focus on is operators. Now, why operators are needed to, so that we can do some kind of calculation. Now, there are different types of operators in Java, like arithmetic operators, assignment operators, relational operators, logical operators, and increment operators. And the best way to learn about this particular chapter is to code and actually move along. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me right click here. Okay, let me right click here. So I'm going to comment any errors in the program. Uh, yeah, so I'm just going to comment it because they are not going to allow me to run the program with errors in it. Okay, just to be making sure, right clicking it, creating a new class, and then calling this as operators program. All of you, please create a new class called operators program, and then you can have it. Now we are going to start with arithmetic operators. So let's say that int first num is equal to 100, int second num is equal to 200, int sum is equal to 0. Now sum is equal to first num plus second num. So you can actually say system dot out dot println sum hyphen, and then you can say system. So plus is a concatenation operator. So if you have an integer value and a string value, it gets concatenated as strings. So when we right click here, run as a Java application, you can actually see the output is 300. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different operators and try it out. So let's say I'm going to say first num minus second num. Okay, now if I run this program, I should get minus 100 as the value. So integers values can be are whole numbers, so whole numbers can be positive as well as negative. Similarly, let me put all the data types. So you have something like star is used for multiplication, hyphen is used for division. Now let's say that hmm, let's say that I'm going to use okay, okay, now let's say this is 4. First number is 4 and second number is 3. Okay, now I'm going to cut this for a while and then try to run the application. Now you can actually see, yeah, so this is how the value is. Okay, now since it is of integer data type, right, since the data type is integer, 4 by 3 is not 1, it is something else. But since integer cannot hold on decimal values, that part is truncated. Now if I change the data type to double, what is going to happen is you can see the output. It will looks like there is an error. Yeah, I have to change the value for sum also. Now you can actually see you get 7.0, 1.0, 12.0, and when the data type is made double, right, the divide symbol is actually throwing the exact value. So this is a lesson for all of us, saying that choose the right data type. If you want decimal values, then do not do integers. Okay, now I wanted to, okay, so that's about it. Now Now let us say I'm changing this back to integer. Okay, and with the understanding that you have understood the double concept. Okay, now if I put percentage as the symbol. Now when you put percentage as the symbol, then what happens is when you put percentage as a symbol, you get the remainder. So when I run this program, you can actually see, okay, that 1 is the remainder. Okay, now similarly if I change this to 2, right, 2 becomes the 0 becomes the remainder. Like when you divide 4 with 2, the remainder is 0. Now these are all the arithmetic operators. Now similarly you have something like logical operators. I have a simple way to explain. So simple dot out dot println. Let us say, uh, okay, first num double equal to second num. That means whether the first num is equal to second num or not. Now logical operators double equal to is a logical comparison operator. Now it is actually telling false. Now understand that single equal to is assignment operator, double equal to is comparison operator. Similarly if I say not, right, so not equal to, so you can actually, I can copy paste here, yeah, and here I can put not equal to. So what is, if I say plus is addition, minus is subtraction, correct, star is multiplication, division, slash is division. Just trying to explain it in detail. Now if you see, if I double click, I can get ample space. Yeah, please excuse me, I want to be hands on because that's the best way to learn. This is equal to or comparison. Okay, this is not equal to, correct. Now yes, now you have relational operators also. So relational operators, I can actually put it like this. So this is greater than, this is greater than equal to, this is less than, and this is less than equal to. Now let me put greater than, this is greater than, this is greater than or equal to, this is less than or equal to. So you have like this, greater than, less than, equal to, and all. So if I run this program, the best part of the story is you can actually get true or false. Now when you use these kind of symbols in basically if conditions or while loops, then you should know that when you use an so basically one more thing which I wanted to tell you, what is an expression. So this is an expression. So when you're using a combination of variables and operators and literals, you get an expression. So always an expression evaluates to a result. An expression evaluates a result. So first num like greater than second num is also an expression collectively because it evaluates to true or false. Similarly, you have increment and decrement operators also, like increment or decrement operators. Now, so basically, if I say system dot out dot println and then I say first num, If I say plus plus, now what is the initial value? So initial value of first num is equal to, let's say, 4. Now there is a difference between first num plus plus and plus plus first num. Okay, now this is known as pre-increment operator, whereas this one is known as post-increment operator. Okay, now let us go to the top. Okay, so okay, so I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I always make mistake, but I correct it. This is okay. So okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you add plus plus to first num, it is a pre-increment operator. First num plus plus is post-increment. What is the initial value of first? 4. So so basically what I wanted to say is, the line number 32, when I run it, right? When I run it, see, so basically there is a difference over here. What is the initial value of 4? 4. Initial value of first num 4. So plus plus first num, it will first do the operation and then display. Okay, so that is the reason, even though the initial value of first num is 4, plus plus is actually doing the addition first, like first num is equal to first num plus 1, and the value is 5. So it is actually displaying the value of 5. Whereas the post increment operator, that first num first plus, this guy is displaying first and it is doing the calculation. So basically what I was trying to tell you is, by this, when you want the change value, so first it is doing the addition and then it is displaying, hence the first displaying is y. Now in the line number 34, by right now the value of first num is 5, and now when you do first 5 plus plus, this guy is displaying first. That is the reason, if I do system dot out dot println and just type first num, correct, this time it will display 6. You can pause the video, you can try it by yourself and get it. See, when I explain, you might get 80% or 90%. So if you're watching the video, it's of no use. What you do is open the laptop and get into Eclipse and practice it, or you can just go to browser, type Java editor online, and you will find one Java editor which is online. You can just try it out. So most similarly, you have like uh, increment operators, right? Similarly you have decrement operators also. Okay, so you can actually say minus minus, or first num minus minus, correct? So this will subtract by 1. Now what is first num, what is first num plus plus? This is nothing but first num is equal to first num plus 1. This is exactly, it is plus plus meaning adding 1 to the number. You can actually do this also, first num plus equal to 2. Now this means first num is equal to first num plus 2. Got it? So in Java programming, this is quite popular. So if plus plus is to before the number, the operation first happens and then it is used in the calculation. Now here it used in the calculation first and then it is doing the operation of addition. So I just wanted you to write a small piece of code, run this program, check the output, and you will understand. Now you also have something like plus equal to 2 or etc. So when you say first num plus equal to 2, it means first num is equal to first num plus 2. Yes. So we had a good discussion on all these kind of operators, like arithmetic operators, assignment, increment, decrement, relational operators and all. And I was clearly mentioning that every expression that is uh, yields to a definite output. Yeah. Now the last topic which I wanted to talk about is typecasting. So I'm going to say casting program. Okay, so this is kind of a very important topic, sorry, which you need to understand. So let's say if I say double balance is equal to 3456.72. Okay, 775. And let's say you work for banks and all, you have a bigger value. So this seems to be a big number. Okay, now now there is something like uh, converting double to int or converting into double kind of thing. Now when you talk about automatic conversion and manual conversion, now let's say that you have something like int marks is equal to 95. Now when I say double result is equal to marks, right? Now this is where you are converting from invert int to double. This is where you are converting from int to double. Now when I do system dot out dot println and say result. Okay, so when you do this, when you right click it and run this particular program, you don't lose any value. 95 is still there. So this is automatic conversion, everything works fine. Now let's say balance. Now when I'm trying, the second scenario is when I have something like uh, final balance or something like that, and I'm, since balance is of integer type, no, I'm actually casting using like this. Now by default this will give a syntax error because the data types are different. Now you are manually casting it, right, when you're putting int, and then when I say system dot out dot println and then when you do balance and put final balance. Now what happens is when I right click run as Java application 647. Now you see there is a small variation. Now when I type balance, yes. So when you manually cast it, that is when you convert from double to integer, you lose this 0.33. Now if you work for banks like Citigroup or JP Morgan Chase or Morgan Stanley or State Street kind of banks, and or ICICI or HDFC or HSBC, the financial data 0.33 means a lot. This can, if this kind of conversion you do just for your output and display so that it looks good, you are actually losing, some amount of data that can be crucial for financial applications. So my suggestion is when you are doing downward casting, that is from double to end, data is getting reduced, data is getting truncated. So you need to be very sure, and I'm not suggesting you unless your scenario is perfectly valid. So please don't do this kind of casting and lead to data losses. I'm just making you aware about the problems which you can actually face. Yes. Now yeah, I think I'm good with it. Now there is another thing which yeah, this const value and all I will take up in the next session. So yes, so this particular session, I know it has been a little bit long for you guys, but I want to thank you for attending this particular session, this particular video. We basically discussed on the foundations of Java programming, that is data types, variables, literates, operators and expressions, and the focus was what to do and what not to do. So as long, always make sure that the when you are writing a piece of code, don't declare a b c d kind x y z kind of variables. Make the name really, think that when this code gets into production, or if somebody reads this particular program, they should understand actually. So I would like to thank all of you for attending this particular video. In the next video we will talk about programming constructs, that is if else, nested if, conditions, loops, breaks, continue, etc. So we'll do some nice programming there. We'll take up some scenarios and then we'll write code and all kind of things. Thank you very much. See you in our next video. Have a good day. Bye bye.